What's up guys, DK here with Collectors Impact, and today we're just going to have a nice little reflection video here regarding collectibles and gratitude and being thankful. Since it is Thanksgiving here in the United States today, so happy Thanksgiving to any of my US viewers, and to anyone who is not in the US, happy Thanksgiving to you anyway, because there is never a bad time to be thankful and grateful for the wonderful things that you have in this life. We only get this one life that we know of, so we might as well enjoy it. So today, instead of talking about the value of the cards and all of the financial elements of it, which is fun and everything, I wanted to go ahead and give thanks for the actual collectibles themselves and the impact that they have had on my life and why. So the collectibles themselves as inanimate objects aren't actually the key thing that bring the joy and all of the memories associated with the hobby and with enjoying collecting things and playing games especially. That primarily comes from the experiences that we actually had with our friends and continue to have with our friends and loved ones. Let me squish these together a little bit. So I figured that I would just share some fond memories and things associated with these cards with you guys, because why not, right? So for me, it really started when I was extremely young. I used to buy things such as the Marvel trading cards, as well as Star Wars cards, and early editions of Magic cards when I was super young in the 1990s. And that was really the thing that introduced me to collectibles and everything, and introduced me to the concept of the card shops in the area, card stores and trading and dealing in cards. It was just such a great way to get exposure to lots of different people, number one, but number two, access to money that I didn't have otherwise. So I learned about trading and flipping and all of that kind of stuff, which was a really fun aspect of the hobby to me, and it always has been and probably always will be, probably because of those roots. But the real joy of all of the gaming stuff happened when Pokemon came out. I was in middle school, and my friends and I gathered around, and one of my friends actually got a deck of the first edition, like starter deck stuff, in the blue box. You guys know what I'm talking about. And we learned how to play Pokemon at my friend's kitchen table, and ever since then, I have been completely and utterly hooked to trading card games. Like I had mentioned, I had dabbled in Magic the Gathering and stuff before that, but yeah, it was definitely the Pokemon era, and then graduating into Magic the Gathering from that point and going competitively into Pokemon tournaments. I was very competitive in that. I was super nerdy. I was in the Pokemon League, and I earned all 8 badges and all that kind of nerdy stuff. They had, like, Wizards of the Coast had like a thing where you could actually, if you came every week and placed within the top 3, then you would be eligible for a badge. There was one for all of the original gyms in the very first Pokemon Red and Blue, as that was when the game came out, was right alongside Pokemon Red and Blue, at least in the United States. But anyway, from there I went on to play Magic and whatnot, and the people that I met, that's what really had the biggest impact. I mean, I would go to large tournaments in the area, and there were just people from all walks of life, all different age groups. So as a millennial, I actually had a lot of exposure to Generation X. And I don't know if that's good or bad, you know what I mean? Because Gen X, they are a pretty interesting bunch, I'll say that. But I love them. You know, my friends that I had made during that point in my life were some pretty awesome, incredible people. And they taught me a ton of life lessons. And I just, as well as the actual boomers who like owned the establishments that we were playing in and whatnot, they were very helpful and interesting people as well. And then my fellow millennials, of course. I mean, I'm talking generationally here, but there was just so much mixing of age groups and whatnot in these scenarios back here in the late 90s, early 2000s. I find that to be pretty interesting. From what I gather from the tournaments that I have been to over the last decade or so, I pop in and out of the local card shops and check out the tournaments and stuff. I still know a lot of the local business owners who deal in trading cards with their businesses and whatnot. So I pop in and say hello and check out those tournaments and play in a few every now and then when I can. And yeah, the mixing of the age groups is still very much a thing, and I think that is an extremely important and really awesome thing about the trading card game environment. is that it just gets you so much exposure to so many different people, personality types, career paths, all of that kind of stuff. And in person, face to face, it's very different than playing video games online and you're just sitting there talking to each other all day long on the microphone. I mean, that that's fun and all, but this is a different sort of experience, that's for sure. Going back a little further in the story, that's how I essentially became an employee at a local card shop, and I started working there for a few years, and then I went on to manage that shop for many, many years, working closely with the owner and whatnot, and helping to manage the store. And I worked full-time for a little bit as I was doing school and everything, and since then I've gone into more of the corporate lifestyle and whatnot, but I have still always kept the games very close to my heart, as well as the market and just the dealings in this stuff, as it is really, it's very important to me personally. I'm sure that it is for many of you watching this. There's just something about it that you can't really define it with words, if you know what I mean. There's an emotion, unless you're like a sociopath or something. There's a lot of emotion regarding the feeling that you get from these sorts of interactions and the collectibles as a whole. Yeah, I mean, I have met so many friends through these that they are lifelong friends up to this point, and I don't see that changing anytime soon, knock wood. A lot of people in my life that I've kept up the most with in terms of like close, true friendships came from the era in which I was involved in this space, because you just bond so much as you're playing these games and talking about life and talking about your experiences, your troubles, your woes, and your successes and everything else. Playing games and collectibles is like the way to gather, yeah, pun quite intended, Magic the Gathering, all of your friends together and grab some drinks and whatnot and just unwind after a hard week of work or whatever. It's the perfect outlet for that kind of a thing. And it was back when I was young and in school, and it still is now as a working class adult. It's very much awesome to get together with your friends and just play some good old-fashioned tabletop games, and video games too. Those are fun. But tabletop games is where it's at for me. I just wanted to go ahead and share some of that and say that I'm extremely grateful for these items, and that's why. It's much more about the connection with friends and family around these things than it is about the items themselves. Though, of course, there is some things about the items themselves, too, that's very attractive and very appealing for everybody involved in the hobby. It's a win-win, you know what I mean? Having the actual physical cards and collecting them and worrying about their rarities and conditions and all that kind of stuff is a lot of fun. It's a lot of it's a main part of the hobby. But I think that if it was just that alone, it wouldn't be as compelling for as many collectors. That's why I gravitate towards the trading card games more than anything else. I do like the Marvel cards. I do like DC cards. I like sports cards. I like those kind of things. But as a general rule, they're a lot more inanimate. They're much more, they're fun to discuss and to share with your friends and trade and stuff like that if your friends are also into them. But in terms of the interactions and memories that are created, the most come from trading card games, at least in my experience. And just in terms of this year, I started this YouTube channel this year, so I wanted to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who's subscribed to this point and who's been interacting in the comments and everything. I mean, this has been a blast so far. I hope that you guys are enjoying this channel. I hope that you like the content. If there's something else that you would like me to cover, if there's a particular topic you'd like to hear my opinion on and or for me to make a video on it, definitely, let me know. I'll see what I can do. And yeah, I really just wanted to say thank you guys as the viewers for watching this content and for being involved with the channel. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you too. Anyway, what do you guys think? What are some memories that you have with collectibles and whatnot that keep you drawn to this hobby? You know what I mean? Like, whether you share it in the comments or just reflect in your own heart, anything's good. I'm just posing the question regardless and just seeing, what is it that you think is the thing that keeps you coming back for more when it comes to collectibles? Is it purely the financial elements, which honestly, that's fine, nothing wrong with that? Or do you feel that there's more of an emotional connection as well, and why. That wraps up the video for today, guys. I hope that you enjoy your Thanksgiving. I hope that you get some good deals on Black Friday if you're looking for some more collectibles to pick up or anything like that. I don't particularly know of any Black Friday sales, but you just never know. I'm sure there will be some. All the websites and everything that exists. Come on now. Either way, I hope that everybody has a great weekend. And if you're watching this in the future, it's all good. You know what I mean? There's never a bad time to be thankful and reflective on what you have and why things are important to you. So whether it's collectibles or anything else in your life, just taking a moment to pause and reflect is never a bad idea. Anyway, thanks again, guys, for coming by. And yeah, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And I hope to see you again next time. Take care.